My name is Jaiprashad Mohanram and you're watching Car Talk. Today I'm at Gurgaon with my colleague Ajish and we are driving the all-new Nissan X-Trail. Before getting into what the all-new X-Trail is all about, let me give you a brief history of the X-Trail badge and its India connection. The Nissan X-Trail badge is 20 years old in India. That is right. Nissan introduced the first generation X-Trail way back in 2004 and now we have the fourth generation model nearly 20 years later. Back in 2004, Nissan bought the X-Trail into India as a completely built unit to build their brand out here. This is exactly what they're trying to do with this SUV as well. They want to give Indian customers a taste of what a Japanese SUV looks, feels and drives like. Let's dive straight into the design of the all-new Nissan X-Trail. You see that grille out there, the chrome grille, the V-Motion grille? This is what makes the X-Trail unmistakably a Nissan. This grille is a staple. From the Magnite to the Patrol, you've got that grille on every Nissan, and that is what gives the X-Trail the traditional Nissan look. Everything else about the X-Trail is SUV-ish. You've got a grille that is snub-nosed, you've got a prominent bumper with a prominent chin, and then you've got a high-set bumper, you've got some nice creasing out there, and then finally you've got the split headlamps. Split headlamps are quite the rage these days, and Nissan has gone with the trend, gone with the flow, given people split headlamps. And overall, the overall front end of the Nissan X-Trail is very SUV-ish. So this probably is my favorite part of the X-Trail in terms of its looks. This is the profile of the X-Trail, and this is where I think the X-Trail really brings out the SUV DNA, the SUV design to the fore. And now you can see there's plenty of ground clearance. You have 210 mm of it. You've got nice black cladding. No chrome there because it's a CBU, and that's actually a nice touch. You've got some chrome there. There is some chrome on the window line. You've got massive 20-inch wheels shod on 255 section tires. So overall, the X-Trail from the side really gives you a proper SUV look, and this is what I think looks the best on the X-Trail. So this is the X-Trail's rear. As you can see, there's a lot of sculpting here as well. I'm sorry it's a little dirty because it's been raining. There's a nice tall loading lip, big chunky bumper. The best part about the rear of the X-Trail are these tail lamps. The LED tail lamps, they have this nice raindrop finish. They really look beautiful at night, and the tail lamps simply meld onto the windscreen. It almost looks like a single unit, so it's actually a beautiful design. So this basically is the overall look of the Nissan X-Trail. Alright, I'm sitting in the Nissan X-Trail's cabin. The Nissan X-Trail's cabin is a very nice place to be in. You've got a nice little steering wheel. It is not a very large steering wheel. Generally SUVs tend to have large steering wheels. This is a small steering wheel. It's got nice paddles here. Very tactile, nice paddles. Adjustable both for reach as well as for rake. You can see it here. So you can get a perfect driving position. Overall, the cabin is really well appointed. You've got this contrast finish here, you've got brown here, you've got black, then you've got contrast stitching. Everything is soft touch. Overall, the X-Trail cabin feels really premium. Okay, this is the gear shifter of the Nissan X-Trail, and this is shift by wire. That is the reason Nissan has been able to give you this much space. Storage space here, that is because this is shift by wire. This is Nissan's third generation Xtronic technology, shift by wire, and it's pretty cool. You've got drive modes here. You've got automatic parking. You've got electric parking brake. Then you've got auto hill hold. The start stop button here. This is climate control, and you've got a infotainment display. This is a full TFT. The overall console is a full TST, and then this is your butterfly type armrest. A lot of storage in here. There's a butterfly type armrest. Overall, it's a very well appointed cabin. So now let's focus on the not so great bits of the Nissan X-Trail. Considering it's a CBU, I would have liked a larger infotainment unit. This infotainment unit just looks a little small for an SUV of this class. Maybe a little bigger one would have really suited the X-Trail well, but that is something that's a bummer here. And then you have fabric seats. An SUV that's a CBU, I would have thought that Nissan would have given us leather seats, but no, we have, or at least art leather seats, but here we have fabric seats, and this is a little bit of a dampener. So these are the only two major offs, I think, on the X-Trail's interiors, according to me. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the middle row of the X-Trail. 3 people can sit here. So the cabin is designed for 3 people in the middle row, without, of course, having the armrest, and if I pull the armrest here, it becomes a two-seater. It's very comfortable. It's almost like a captain seat. It's quite comfortable here. With this, 3 people can sit. Put this up. So I've got seat belts for everybody. It's overall quite an airy cabin. You've got a nice panoramic sunroof. So with the panoramic sunroof open, it's a very airy cabin. So you also get rear AC vents here, and you get 2 charging points. You get a Type-C charging point as well. That's a cool thing. So this is about the convenience features that you have. And the seat backs have been scooped out to make more room for the people sitting in the rear. That is another nice touch. Overall, it's a reasonably well-made cabin in terms of feel. I would have given it 10 out of 10 if this was leather, but since this is fabric, I'll probably give it an 8. So I'm going to try to get into the third row of the Nissan X-Trail, and this is exactly why I think this SUV is best enjoyed as a 5-seater. Look at this. Okay, now I'm trying to get into the rear. Alright, so I have to do a fair bit of acrobatics, and older people just won't enjoy this. Alright, so I sit here. There's nearly no room for me here, and I pull this. Okay, so the Nissan X-Trail is best enjoyed as a 5-seater, and this is exactly why. So this is the boot of the Nissan X-Trail with the third row folded down. Nice boot space, enough boot space for quite a lot of luggage, and this is why I think the X-Trail is best enjoyed as a 5-seater. You've got a nice boot, you've got plenty of space. So if it's 5 seats, it's great. It doesn't come with a spare wheel, it just comes with a puncture repair kit. Wait, let me show you. It comes with a puncture repair kit here. So it doesn't come with a spare wheel. So this is the puncture repair kit that you get with the X-Trail, no spare wheel here. So overall, best enjoyed as a 5-seater. So we're driving the Nissan X-Trail on the Delhi-Mumbai Expressway, and I'm at 60. I'm just gonna show you how it accelerates. Let me go a little slower than this. I don't want to slow the traffic down because we're on an expressway and we have a speed limit here. So I'm at 40. I'm just flooring it. Okay, it just has a little bit of lag, then it really picks up, and this is how the CVT responds. And in no time I'm doing about 120. So it revs all the way to 6000 RPM before the gear shifts. Basically it's a CVT, it doesn't have gears. What it has are step shifts. It basically simulates the feel of a torque converter. That is something that's nice about the X-Trail. In terms of body control, etc., the X-Trail has a slight body roll, but that is expected because the SUV, it's an SUV and it's installed, but it's nothing to really complain about. So it's pretty stable, and within no time you're doing triple-digit speeds, and see, and we're doing about 140 kilometers per hour, and it's pretty stable. And you didn't really feel that bump there. You didn't feel the drop in the road despite those speeds. So the suspension does a really good job. It's very planted, it's quite flat, and you don't generally have the, and especially on the rumbler strips, etc., it gives you a very planned ride quality, and that is something that's nice about the X-Trail. And coming to the engine, though it's a 1.5 litre engine, you're not really going to be wanting more power on this. There's plenty of power, there's spoke everywhere, and the CVT is tuned in such a way that the low end especially is very strong. There is a slight lag, but this is not a deal downer. Nobody is going to be flooring it at 30 kilometers per hour and saying, oh, it's not picking up, because nearly every other car, even a bigger car, even for that matter of Fortuner, is going to say take a while before it really starts stretching its legs out, as you move on. There is a surprising miss in the X-Trail. Though it has a 360-degree camera that shows, most of the SUV, and it's very easy to park, etc., it misses out in ADAS. Generally, at this price point, considering that it is a CBU and the X-Trail is going to be a pricey SUV, that is what we're all assuming, should have had ADAS is my opinion. But then I guess Nissan is going to price it very competitively since they have not given ADAS. Let's hope that they price it very competitively. If that happens, people are not really going to complain. They're going to lap up the X-Trail. The X-Trail is a great urban SUV. That is what I feel. It's more of a great urban SUV. It's very smooth. It's almost like the CVT is almost like a torque converter with 8-step shifts. So there are a lot of good things about the X-Trail. But 3 big misses. One, I think I would have liked leather seats. I would have also liked ADAS on this SUV. The third big miss, I think, is the touchscreen is just a little too small and the resolution is not to my liking. And oh, before I forget, there is another big miss. There is no electric seat adjustment. You just have the lumbar support, which is going to help your back. The ride quality about the X-Trail, absolutely no problem. It's quite planted. It changes direction quickly. There's a little bit of body roll, but that's about it. Since it's a high-riding SUV, it's a given. The steering is nice. The feel is good. It's not very twitchy, and it is not over-assisted. So the steering is pretty good in the X-Trail. You don't really feel that it's twitchy even at high speed. It feels like a car more or less to drive. It's more of a crossover than an SUV the way it drives. It doesn't feel like a big SUV in terms of how it rolls, etc. I'd like to show you the instrument cluster. The instrument cluster is like a cool thing in this particular SUV. Just look at the instrument cluster. You've got this variable compression technology. This is the first SUV in India to have this. The first car, in fact, the first engine in India to have variable compression technology. And the instrument cluster is like very cool. It's a TFT display, and you have, when you floor it, it goes to the power mode, and you see the turbos pulling up. Lots of gauges. It can get a little busy, but for enthusiasts, this is something they'll really enjoy. I'm not going to really comment about the fuel efficiency of the X-Trail. In fact, it's got variable compression technology where it varies the compression ratio on the fly. If I'm going to stomp on the throttle, compression ratio is going to, and I'm going to just move on. It's going to reduce and I'm going to move on. When I just cruise like this, I'm taking my foot off the throttle, the compression ratio is going to reduce, and then I'm going to have very good efficiency. So this is a technology that's a trick technology. It's not there on any car in India. In fact, even in the world, I think Nissan is the only car company to offer this technology. So that's a very cool thing. But then I also have to tell you that I really can't comment on the fuel efficiency of the X-Trail as of now, because I've been driving it quite hard, and it's unfair on me and on my part to really comment on the fuel efficiency of the car. So we're nearly at the end of the Nissan X-Trail drive. Here are some of my closing thoughts about the SUV. The X-Trail looks very good. You can see it there. The X-Trail looks like an SUV but drives like a car. That's something that's really cool about the X-Trail. It's got just a 1.5 litre triple cylinder engine, but it doesn't feel lacking for power at any given point in time. The gearbox is very nice. It is a CVT gearbox, but you have none of the annoying rubber band effect. They have 8 step shifts, and when it shifts, it almost feels like a torque converter, except when you push it every other time. The gearbox is pretty good. The cabin is well appointed. Overall, the X-Trail is a very competent product. It takes on the likes of the Hyundai Tucson, the Jeep Meridian, the Volkswagen Tiguan, and of course the Skoda Kodiaq. The Toyota Fortuner and the Gloucester are one segment bigger. But these are the 4 main SUVs that the X-Trail is going to go up against. So if Nissan can get to price the X-Trail very well, if they can get to really challenge the other SUVs with good pricing, I think there are going to be a lot of people walking into Nissan showrooms for the X-Trail. It's a competent offering. We wish Nissan all the best. So what are your thoughts about the all-new Nissan X-Trail? Do let us know in the comments below. If you like such content, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel down below.